Hello and welcome to another edition of Sarah J Media Live on YouTube and Facebook, and welcome to the Thursday edition. I think yesterday is Thursday, and welcome to the Thursday edition of The Lamp. The Lamp is a program brought to you by Sarah J Media so that we can learn and make progress. Today, we have somebody of a unique character who has been working tremendously hard within the civilian and outside of the civilian community, and a woman. As you can remember, this weekend we celebrated International Women's Day with Sierra Leonean women that have done exemplary well within our communities in Sierra Leone and also in the UK. And we have one of Sierra Leone's finest, a young lady that has done extremely well within her career path. She has laureates of degrees and she has also worked in so many different capacities. This is one unique Sierra Leonean that I know has a lot of potential in various different capacities. But I will not say much. I will introduce to you today one of Sierra Leone's finest, one that we don't see that much all the time, and I think is somebody who is shy, but I managed to get her on the lamp for today's program. I will welcome you, Ruth Kamara, to the program. Welcome to the lamp.
Thank you for having me on your live. I'm so happy to be here. Like you said, I'm a gem. I must say that myself, because I believe in unveiling the diamonds within everyone. So my name is Ruth Kala Kamara. I'm a coach. First of all, I'm an ambassador of Christ. I love God.
Okay.
And for me, God is number one. So I'm an ambassador of Christ. I try to live my life according to the word. I'm a mother of 3 beautiful, blessed children. I'm a daughter, and I'm a transformational coach, a mentor, a published author, and you mentioned about my career, a consultant within the revenues and the public sector in UK.
That is a lot. And I think you left one or two. You are also a producer and a director,
yes,
and a script writer.
Yes, yes.
So you name it. That's all on you.
I know.
So how do you cope with all those sort of personalities and careers that you have at your hand? And at the same time, you're a mother of 3.
Yeah, my children are older now. And they've given me, even when they were young, they've given me the opportunity to be myself. And in doing so, I'm able to do so many things. And one of the biggest things for me is having my mom, who is my biggest support system. She's my mentor, number 1. And she's always taught me to be me. And there is no limit. Because I know people say, oh, the sky is a limit. I don't believe in any limit.
Wow.
For me, it's limitless. Because if you take a cup and you have a bottle of water and you pour it on the cup, if it's a small cup, it will take the amount of water you pour. But if you use another cup that's got a bigger capacity, that bottle will fill that cup. So I don't believe in limit, and I get that from my mom. So yeah, and also you mentioned about my career. Mm-hmm. I think I've done a lot, and I still think there's more to me that most people haven't seen, and I'm hoping as time goes on, they'll come to know me more. You've mentioned so many things I've done.
I know.
Yeah, and for me, one of the biggest things is to uplift people, especially women and girls. I know people use the word empowerment. For me, empowerment is overused. I prefer to do than to talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the empowerment as a language within our community has been used, exhausted, and you don't think much has been done to actually link the word according to what people have done?
Yeah.
So you now believe in do and talk less.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you've done within our community, specifically in civilian or within our civilian community here, before we take it beyond?
Okay. Mentorship is a big thing for me. I will emphasize on women and girls because I think over the years, what I've seen, I'm not happy with. It's easy for people to say, oh, look at this girl, look at this woman, they're useless, they're this. But what are we doing to empower them? I grew up in a society where older women mentored me. I grew up where even when I do wrong, they know how to correct me without embarrassing me.
Okay.
There is support system. Nowadays, we call it coaching. I was blessed to have so many coaches in my life growing up in Sierra Leone. So I'm doing the same. I support young women, whether through entrepreneurship, whether through coaching. I support other charities. I don't like to use the word charities, foundation, I call them.
Okay.
I support the old people. I love old people because I benefited from them in Sierra Leone. I don't get to talk too much about it because I think sometimes, not that I'm criticizing anyone, but sometimes I think it's best to do things behind the scene. Let the people who've been blessed by our gift come and talk about it. Okay. Instead of me, if I go and give a bag of rice, for example, nothing against anyone doing that. Please don't come for me. Or if I send something, now it's a photo op. No, I prefer to do things. I've been doing this for years, supporting homes, supporting both men and women through education, scholarships, supporting them through just life. I see the diamond in everyone.
Okay.
I believe in that strongly. I don't believe in everybody's useless, no. Even the person who is not where they should be right now, they just need somebody to hold their hand and say, you can do it.
Wow, that's a brief about some of the stuff that you've done. I think within our community, people shy away from some of the stuff that you do. I think you're one of those people as well, that shy away from saying stuff that you have done. And one thing that you mentioned is when you said there is no boundaries to anything within your own reach. It's the same kind of philosophy that I have.
Yeah.
Nothing can stop you other than yourself.
Yeah.
So what are some of the things that you have actually focused on in terms of getting people to be mentored through education?
I've done, again, I don't want to name names, I'm not going to.
No, that's fine. That's
but
fine.
I've done support through financial support, putting people through school.
Is that all done in Sierra Leone or in the UK?
No, in Sierra Leone. I focus more in Sierra Leone because I believe in what they say, charity begins at home.
Right.
If I cannot do for my family, who, when I say family, Sierra Leone community, and then I'm busy doing for the outside world, it doesn't look right. You cannot be a father or a mother in a house and leave your children hungry and then go out and do for everybody else. So I believe in doing it in Sierra Leone, which I've been doing for years. So whether it's family, whether it's people I don't know that I come to know, I'm always open as long as people don't think they can take advantage. But I'm always willing to help in more ways or in any way I can, as long as it's within my space, within my, what I can do, yeah.
Okay. I know there are many coaches in Sierra Leone within our community. Do you think some of the girls growing up right now don't have enough privileges like you mentioned earlier on when you're growing up in Sierra Leone? There were lots of people around that are there mentoring you, coaching you, which is possibly what we don't see like it was necessary then. Now they call it coaching. Do you think we have enough of your type within our community?
Again, let no one come for me. I'm going to speak my mind the way I've observed. I think people, we do have them, but I don't think people are given the space. And most times people cannot afford because people will charge. And also, I think people nowadays, I think they're afraid to be used as content.
Okay.
So maybe they don't. And trust. When I was growing up, if I go speak to an auntie, I say, I don't want my mom to know, my mom would not know. Unless it's something that they definitely need that. My parent needs to know, if it's like something that it's very, very serious.
Okay.
But nowadays, even when you speak to people, your business is out there. So people don't get the same kind of support I got growing up from family members, even outsiders who are not biological families. Because for me, the community is family. So I don't think so. Because trust is a big thing. People are afraid that if they go say to somebody something, the next thing is out in social media. They help somebody, they go to talk. If they fall out, all your business is out there. And coaching is about trust. And I don't know within the Sierra Leonean community if there are laws. Because here, if you're a coach or a counselor, if somebody comes to you, or a psychologist, you cannot be talking their business out because you've signed something that you cannot disclose their personal stuff. But now, so answer to your question, I don't think so. The way it should be, the way I benefited, I don't think so, yeah.
Okay, so now let's go to your writing skills. I know you've written a couple of books, and I think, interestingly, a couple of weeks ago, months ago, I was looking at bringing up a program that has to do with Sierra Leone authors, based either in the diaspora or in Sierra Leone. And I'm fortunate to have you here as one of those people who have written books in the past. So do you get your writing inspiration from some of the experiences that you had growing up, or some of the interactions that you have with women, girls, and people within your community?
Yes. My book, which has been released, it's on Kindle, Amazon right now. The paperback should be available by the end of the week. I talk about myself.
Can you tell us the name of the book before we move forward on that?
I choose to forgive myself.
Okay.
It's the way I was brought up, the way I grew up. And I'm hoping people reading this book will see themselves in the book. And I'm hoping people like, for example, my dad, is not to put anyone down, but it's to let somebody else learn from my experience and say, hang on a minute, I need to do better with my family. And I spoke about my ex-husband. I'm hoping that he doesn't see it as talking against him. That's not the intention. Because sometimes we don't know that we're doing wrong against someone by things we would say to them. Okay. So this book is about me saying, through the process I've gone through, I've realized I forgive everybody, but I haven't forgiven myself.
So why do you think you haven't forgiven yourself for some of the experiences that you've gone through?
Because I was a people pleaser. I want to belong. I want everybody to like me. So I didn't think I deserved to be forgiven. I thought everything that has happened to me is my fault. There's a lot in the book. Even me rewriting it was painful, was a relief, was healing for me. I got to face things that I didn't want to face. It's not an autobiography or biography by all means. Okay. But it's something I knew I have to, because I cannot be talking to people about unveiling the diamonds within and not sharing my story. And the stories about other people I coach as well, their experiences, without giving their true identity.
So you mean this book, I Choose to Forgive Myself, is one that's people should go and get it on Amazon.
Definitely, it's needed.
You said it's on Kindle right now.
It's on Kindle right now as we speak. They can start reading it.
Okay.
And paperback will be out by the end of the week. And there's a journal that's going to follow by the end of the month. And there are more books.
All right. Well, for those watching, we're going to put up the link for the Amazon link that will be out, and the Kindle link definitely will put that as well. So don't forget to follow those links after the program and get a copy. So I know paperback is something that people are not, books within our community, pardon me, we don't read that much. We have a very poor reading community, that I would say for sure, because I will not say I'm a good reader myself, but I think I spend more time researching than reading. I'm getting to read a little bit more, but something that is very exciting about your book that you've just mentioned is one I am definitely going to pick up and start reading. So how would you encourage Sierra Leoneans to be able to grab a copy and read? Because sometimes our life experiences can be taught within our own sector of sharing ideas. But it's also good to read, because again, if we get to read certain things, we learn a lot more than people telling us what to do. So how do you encourage people to read? I know it's very difficult.
It's difficult, and that saddens me for my community, because I grew up in a time when reading was my escape. I read a lot, even books I wasn't supposed to read for my age. that was my escape. Of course, we didn't have social media. So I would move myself from everyone to just go sit somewhere and just read books or just have that space to think. Things I'm doing now are prayers that have been answered, because as a child, I would say, one day I want to be an author, I want to be a director, I want to be this, I want to be that. It was a prayer. I didn't even know how it was possible. I was this little girl in Sierra Leone, Freetown, dreaming these dreams. I would say we should take back the culture of reading, because we had that in Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Are we going to do it? Please, if anyone want to collaborate with me, join with me. We can supply books. We can open libraries. Let's come together. I believe in this saying, I'll spell it, U-B-U-N-T-U, Ubuntu. I believe in the saying, it takes a village to raise a child. I was fortunate enough to have support. And at the time when education was key in Sierra Leone, I went to FSSG, Freetown Secondary School for Girls, under the principal, Madam Cassandra Gaba, and I think Madam Blake is late now. It was the best time of my life. And primary school as well was good. So if we can bring back that culture of learning, instead of us saying these kids are useless, they're always on social media, what's the outlet we've given them? We can do a space where they can go use computer to read the Kindle.
Right.
We can provide that for them in a space. So I'm open to any suggestions where all of us can come together and bring back that culture of reading. Whether it's a book club, I'm ready. I just want them to be the best they can.
It's very interesting that you mentioned the book club, because I think a couple of years ago, some people that I know were trying to put together a book or reading club. And sometimes people don't understand the context behind book club. Can you share that a little bit so that people can understand what it actually means?
Okay, so we talk about Sierra Leone.
Yeah.
Okay. People will say, where would we create the space? We've got schools. We've got universities. Even the primary schools.
All right.
We could create a room. I don't know how the schools are now.
In Sierra Leone?
In Sierra Leone.
Okay.
Because before, we had libraries. You can go there. So we have to reintroduce things like that, but use it in a way that can attract the children, because we've moved from those days to now with technology. So something that they will enjoy. Because whether people believe this or not, there are children who love reading.
Yeah.
Even now, they want the physical books.
Yeah, true.
So we have to create a space without telling them they're nothing, but encouraging them to become something.
Can one of the ways be like setting up some school competitions so that kids can get involved into reading books in terms of just staying at home, spending more time on social media platforms? I think influencers are helping, but do we have influencers that are authors that will actually do short paragraphs of their books and illustrate it a little bit more so that kids can get themselves attracted to some of the stuff? That all can be done within a book club section. Yeah,
I'm glad you mentioned about school competition. You know, you mentioned earlier on that I'm a producer and all of that.
Yeah.
People might know, not many people might know this. I hope I don't get into trouble with this. There was a show I was part of called Smart Millionaire.
Okay.
It was in Sierra Leone. Unfortunately, it did not go the way we wanted it. Well, let me not speak for anyone. For me, it did not go the way I wanted it to.
Was it like a reality show?
A reality show.
Okay.
It's based on education.
Right.
I'm hoping one day Sierra Leone will embrace educational reality shows that don't demean people, but show them who they are. I don't care if you're from a village. You can be the next president.
Sure.
Not just in your country. You can be the biggest CEO in the world. So, and you don't get that just by luck. education is key. Maybe not everybody is called to go to university. Even though I've got a master's degree, I don't rely just on my master's degree. I believe in hands-on, that basic education. So yeah, we can open book clubs where they can go and get the book before, maybe that's what we call the library.
Yeah.
Who knows? Nice book club where they can access the book and appreciate what they're reading. Because I truly, truly believe that Sierra Leoneans want to read.
We do want to read, and as an author yourself, you have 2 books. So tell us about the second one, or the first one.
The second one is about healing. I know people think, oh, what do you talk about healing? Some people think it's overrated, but it's not. I will bring these 2 books to leadership, my belief, because I'm a big fan of leadership, getting the right leadership. A leader who is not healed, who hasn't forgiven others or forgiven himself, is a dictator.
That's deep. For those of you who are watching, the meaning of a dictator indirectly is somebody that hasn't healed or forgiven himself and others.
Yeah.
Go deep into it.
I say that because when you lead, you have to have empathy and compassion. But if you have bitterness and unforgiveness, how would you lead correctly or positively? You'll either be a dictator who is self-centered or very narcissistic. I say this with all love. All of us are a work in progress. I believe that if a leader take responsibility, even when things go wrong that is not his or her fault, they're great leaders. Because a leader is supposed to cover. And a leader should believe that they are there to serve, whether you being a prime minister, a president, a CEO, whatever capacity, even in your home. As the leader of your home, the dad or the mom, you cannot lead a very loving home if you too, you're struggling with unforgiveness because somebody did something wrong with you when you were younger. You have to find that healing. And I'm not saying that that's the only thing, but you have to deal with that foundation.
So how do you activate it? Where do you start?
Let me give you an example. In my book, I talk about needing my dad's love, but not getting it the way I wanted it as a child, even now as an adult. Does that mean my dad is a bad person? No, I love my dad. But in writing this book, I discovered something. He lost his mom as a child. And his dad was what we used to call in Sierra Leone seaman. So he wasn't there. He was always traveling. So he had to look after his younger ones. He took the place of a mom and a dad.
Right.
Whilst needing that nurturing. So as he grew older, he didn't know how to do what I wanted him to. So because of that, I was so determined to make sure my children don't lack the emotional, the mental, the financial, all those things that children need as the foundation so they could be better people. And I think I've done a great job so far. And the foundation for me, is, as I said before, is God. Without him, I can do nothing.
Because most of what you're saying can be biblical at some point.
Definitely.
Right. So would I say you're a dedicated Christian or Muslim? What sort of faith do you carry yourself
This
on?
current time, now, I could tell you openly, I'm so passionate about it that I'm a believer in Christ, Jesus Christ. Because nowadays, when people talk about religion, I don't do religion. I do relationship.
Okay.
So I'm a believer of Christ. I believe in the leadership of Christ. The model is God. He's a servant. As leaders, we're called to serve. And he's compassionate.
So I bought these 2 books out already on Kindle, and the paperback of the first one
is there.
Will be out already.
Yeah. It's 31 days of healing. So every day there's a scripture, there's a story on how to get yourself healed.
Okay.
I know there's something every day. It reminds me of growing up reading the New Testament. They used to give away this little red Bible. There are Psalms and the New Testament. They will have prayers where if you're feeling sad, something like that is similar.
Okay.
So it's like a journey. Every day there is a word for you there.
So basically it's about 30-something pages in volume.
It's more than that. It's 31 days.
31 days of reading.
So every day has got...
So does the days have certain amounts of pages that they cover, or paragraphs, roughly about that?
About 2 or 3 pages.
Okay.
It's got like scriptures, it's got quotes, and it's got prayer.
Okay,
and a story.
That's just an encouragement for people who are going to pick up the book to say,
definitely,
you don't have to read it all in a go, but at least you can spend the day and read one particular segment of the book.
Yeah, one day, like day 1 could be the first of the month. It could be on compassion. But maybe on the 15th of the month, you need that compassion. You can go back and read about compassion, about love, about mercy. Yeah. So
it's like a journal of something that you use as a reference point.
Yeah.
If you want to do anything, or something that is you're actually dealing with, and you possibly have read it on the book.
Yeah. And within the book, we've got space like a journal as well. You could write your thoughts.
Okay. Interesting. I would like to grab a copy, because again, we'll talk about these things many times, but we don't actually put it into action because we don't have the physical evidence of going back to it. It doesn't look like a Bible, but it's got enough biblical information that can be very useful. And
also, I grew up in a home that was a Muslim home. So I know most of the things I read in the Bible, even though I'm not a scholar of the Quran, but I saw my grandparents live the life of a Muslim, a brilliant Muslim. They were loving, they were compassionate, not what I see now.
Okay.
They were given. Everything a believer, whether you're a Muslim or a Christian, should do that will please God. I see my grandparents do that. Yeah.
Wow. If you're watching Sheva J Media live on YouTube and Facebook, and you're watching The Lamp, a program brought to you to learn and make progress. Today we have Ruth, and she's taking us through her journey, and we've just finished the first phase of our journey, and which is focusing on your books that you've written and some of your experiences on the books. So now let's go a little bit into some of the coaching stuff that you have done. And I know you mentioned leadership. And I think leadership has been one of the most key factors within our community that many people lack. Some people think they have leadership skills. Some people think they can lead, but sometimes they don't really know how to lead. Tell us a little bit about leadership. What are some of the challenges that you might face on your way? What are some of the things that you need to know? What are some of the issues that you'll be dealing with if you want to become a very good leader, or you want to execute yourself in terms of leadership?
Thank you. That's a good question. And for me, anyone who knows me know I talk about leadership. We need a positive leader. We don't need a leader who knows everything. A leader should have the right team around them. But the main thing for me is a leader has to be compassionate, and a leader has to be somebody who's ready to serve, not to be served. I said earlier on, a leader who is not healed, who's got bitterness and unforgiveness, is a dictator, because it's about himself or herself. You want to be served. So what I see, again, my Sierra Leonean loving community, I have to say this. We need to seek and pray for the right leaders in our homes, in our businesses, whether we are in the diaspora, whether we are in Sierra Leone, in our leaders that we believe are the ones who are going to lead us in politics. Please, please, let's choose and pray right for the right leader. I'll go back to the question. Wounded leaders cannot lead.
Okay, use the word wounded leaders. Are you talking about, say, for example, the lion that has been wounded in the jungle, being torn apart by a pack of hyenas?
Yeah.
How do you expect that lion to lead when he's carried himself with so many wounds and tears all over his skin?
He needs to take time out, or she needs to take time out and heal and forgive.
Wow. So you mean that is deep, because I'm thinking of going through such pain, going through such, I don't know how to describe the amount of pain that individual might be going through, and you still have to have the sense of forgiveness in you. Otherwise, you won't be able to move. How do you cope with the mechanism of forgiving after you've gone through so much pain within yourself? You're badly hurt. How do you deal with the concept of saying to yourself, I have to forgive, otherwise I will not make any move in what I want to do?
I said something earlier about my foundation in Christ. That's my go-to. He died for us. Even when he died for us, people were still talking against him, but he still asked for forgiveness for us. Now, in the Bible, David was wounded. He almost lost everything. And then he sought God and said, shall I pursue? So you have to, like I said earlier on, you have to sit and get healed. So that's why we don't need religious leaders. Because like I said, I don't do religion. I'm a believer. Whatever you believe in, that is God. When you go and seek God, God, what are you wanting me to do? You can lead his people right. So a wounded leader who is not healed, everybody sees they want to crush. Because you did him wrong, or you did her wrong. How is he going to serve? No, he wouldn't serve. Because he doesn't have compassion. He doesn't have empathy. I say him, please, there are wounded women who are leaders as well. I need to say that. There are wounded leaders who are women. My beautiful queens, for me, I don't compete with anyone. I compete with myself. When we come together as women, we can do exploit. Because we are kingmakers. That's another book coming.
So who do you fear most? Men or women in terms of wounded leaders? Who do you fear most? Or who should you fear most? Or is it an equal share?
I think it's an equal share. I don't think we should... you're taking me to my next book and something I'm working on. But I will say this. We as women, we're the nurturers. We're the one that give birth to these men. So we are responsible to make sure, even when they're wounded, they can find a healing.
But what if you have a woman alongside you who is more wounded than you, the man, and they don't have the encouragement to give you the healing? Like you said, there are vicious and wounded women leaders all over the world these days. So how do you actually incorporate that sense of women being motherhood?
You bring in my next project. So check who were the mentors.
Okay.
Who nurtured them, their background. If they don't find healing and purpose of who they are, positioning, they'll be fighting with people they're not supposed to fight with. Like I said before, I don't compete with anyone except myself. Because everyone is a diamond. And for me, it's about making sure that diamond within you is unveiled. So why would I want somebody else's gift or passion? What God has ordained for them. I want mine. I could only be a supporter of your vision. I cannot go against another person. That is not God.
Wow, I think we're going through some transition of your books, and I can feel the emotions of the spiritualness within what you're saying, and I can relate a lot to the books. Even though I haven't touched any one of them already,
Yeah.
I can feel the emotions of what you will be going through reading that book. Do you actually look at those experiences and possibly say to you, I'm strong enough to be able to go through this and write a book? Because many people don't like to talk about their past. They think it's demeaning. It is not something that they would like to discuss. Sometimes people say, when I discuss my past, friends or family members can use it against me. How do you cope with discussing some of those issues?
It's not an easy thing to do. It wasn't easy for me. I choose to forgive myself. When you read the book, you'll find out that I started writing that book 2021. I did not want to expose myself because these are personal things. It was difficult. I started writing the book thinking I was writing a book on I forgive you. In that process, I realized I need to forgive myself. Words are powerful. That's why I'm careful with my words. There were things said to me that impacted my life in a negative way, something. One major one was like growing up, you know those days, I don't know how old you are, that as a girl, you start developing. And then one family member made a comment because I was so skinny, but I don't know if I could say this in the show. I had big breast. And then she was teasing me. To be fair on her, those days maybe she didn't think it was anything, but it impacted me. So what did I do? I was so self-conscious of my look. I started tying myself to sleep. Like now I know they call it iron.
Yeah, they do it in Kenya.
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know. As a child, I just want to look good, feel good, be accepted by everybody. Even though my mom showered me with love, even though my grandparents, they loved me. I was like everything for them. That's one of the reasons why my middle name is Kala, is to honor one of my grandmothers.
Okay.
She taught me unconditional love. She was called Ruth Kala. She taught me unconditional love and to be who you are, empowered, an entrepreneur, that you're a woman of substance, that you can do anything you want. You can be self-sufficient. That doesn't mean that when you get married, you put your husband under your floor. No, you respect your husband, because I saw how she honored my granddad. Yeah. I hope I answered your question.
There is a lot of lesson being learned here tonight, because it's not just about answering the question, but you're making other suggestions towards the answers that you're giving in terms of what possibly many people don't see as the reality to life. Has life changed for you over the past decade since you read the book? How?
Definitely. Again, writing the book, I uncovered things about myself that I was scared to unveil.
It's like your gray areas. You don't want to go there.
And there's more to come. Now I know it's not about me. It's about the next person. So that what I went through, they don't need to go through that. So through my coaching, I help people. I learn from others as well. And I know this is just the beginning. Life happens. It's how we make it. Some days are hard for me. I'm not sitting here saying everything is good. No, there are challenges. But I have to apply what I'm learning and what I've written about on a daily basis. And that's my encouragement to everyone. I focus on people's strength, not weaknesses. That's why it pains me when I see people on social media going against each other. You don't need to compete with everybody or with anybody. You are so precious. even your own experience is unique to you. And somebody is waiting for you to come over on the other side so that they could become who they're called to be.
So would you say social media has been a disadvantage in terms of actually using it to better yourself or deter some of the potential that you have?
That would be unfair on social media if I say it's got its advantage and it's got its disadvantage.
Right.
For me, we have to be wise. We have to seek wisdom. If I'm on social media and what I'm seeing is not benefiting me to elevate me, to improve my life, it's all making me feel the worst. Why would I be watching those kind of things or partaking on those kind of things? You see, we have to be responsible for ourselves.
Right.
One thing about leaders who are dictators, they always point the finger at everybody else. It's your fault. They don't take the responsibility.
Sure.
We need to shift from that. As a mother, if I do wrong by my children and they tell me, Mom, you did this wrong, I'll apologize. In our African culture and in our leaders, they don't. There's excuses. So how are we going to prosper? There's a lot, I could say.
It looks like there's a lot you can say, but we're going to hold it there because I think if we carry on with this, it's like you're mentoring me now and people watching. So if you're out there watching the program and you're watching live, don't forget to send in your comments on Facebook and YouTube, or you can ask your questions if you want to, and we can get a segment within the program that will read out those questions.
Yes.
Now let's move on. I know you are into entertainment as well, and I think you're also versatile in some of the areas of the entertainment industry, which is filmmaking and otherwise. So tell us about those experiences. How did you get yourself into filmmaking? For example, you're a producer.
Remember I said to you as a young girl, there are things I used to dream about, pray about without knowing it was a prayer that's happening now. I've always loved the creative industry. Always. I would go as far as saying if you're a writer or an author, you're a screenwriter, you're going to eventually go into movies. I love movies. Maybe I'm a storyteller. I love good things, like good endings. So anything that would bring a story to life and help others, I'm ready. So I've always loved movies, even as a child. I did not know one day, God will answer my prayer and I'll become a producer.
Oh, you haven't produced yet? Interesting.
I've been an executive producer on a movie which I collaborated with somebody.
Okay.
It's on YouTube. I don't want to say it.
Well, why not?
Because nowadays people think, oh, it's a scary movie. But again, it's a storytelling.
No, say it, because the reason why you need to say it is because when we start this program, I emphasize on some of the potentials that you have. And to be honest, you're one of the unique women that I've met within my own career path, of somebody who is that versatile and very open to so many things that a woman can do. They said a woman can do better anything a man can do, but I disagree with that.
I know you're versatile as well. There's
no, well, I'm just disagreeing to that. That does not mean it's not nothing to do with my own versatility in terms of what I do. But again, the movie industry in Sierra Leone has had a lot of setbacks, positive and negative ones, especially the negative ones are huge. Why do you think that is happening? As somebody who has interest within the movie industry and you haven't jumped on it and actually grab it with your hand and then run with it like you've done with the books that you've written?
Okay. Thank you for that question. And I'll go to the camera and talk to my Sierra Leonean people. Please, I love all of you. For me, I speak my mind. I'm quick to apologize where I need to apologize. But the truth is the truth. And I'm appealing, this is an appeal to all Sierra Leoneans, whether you are in Sierra Leone or out of Sierra Leone. The biggest problem is that we're not coming together. Let's stop tearing each other down. Let's come together. We Sierra Leoneans, we are so talented, so gifted. If only we work together, we can do exploit. I keep using that word exploit. We are limitless. Growing up, there were shows that were done, which I would beg my mom to go to City Hall. That tells you my age. But we were not allowed to. But the culture, the industry of the creative, whether it's fashion, whether it's music, Dr. Olo, so many I could name. So many. What's happening in Sierra Leone? This is an appeal. We can do bigger and better. But no man is an island. Let's come together and do the right ones that could take us to another level that we deserve. I believe in my Sierra Leonean producers and directors, but we need to be honest with each other, and we need to work together genuinely. Let's stop the backbiting, and let's love each other genuinely. There's a movie I collaborated with somebody. I don't know whether I'm allowed to say the title.
This is a free country.
I think it's out there. I think they haven't released it publicly. But
Okay.
the story here is about human trafficking. But I will share the link later on.
Okay,
the story.
no problem.
There are
Alright.
2 movies actually that I've been part of. This is a Sierra Leonean cast, director, producer, all of them is based. It was done in Sierra Leone. The other movie I was talking about, I collaborated with another somebody. With the movie was shot in UK, is with somebody from Ghana, a Ghanaian producer and
Okay.
director. But now I'm so open to us doing things as Sierra Leoneans. I might be biased. I'm a Sierra Leonean, very proud of that. But it's time for us to become who we really are. So, I've spoken to you that we need to do something. And I know we can do it. And let's support each other. I will keep emphasizing on that. Whether it's the music industry, whether it's the movies, whether it's the fashion show, whatever it is in the creative industry, let's come together.
It's good that you mentioned that because, again, as Sierra Leoneans, we collaborate, but we don't collaborate as much as we can in certain areas.
Yeah.
And I think you have said something that possibly I've heard from very few Sierra Leonean women within our community, which is collaboration. And you've mentioned the fact that you don't want to do it alone.
No,
You want to collaborate.
definitely.
What is the importance of that? Because I know you've mentioned you've done stuff with Sierra Leoneans and Ghanaians, but you want to do it now back home because you want to emphasize on the fact that you are Sierra Leonean, so you need to do something within that core group of people. Why do you think it's very important to collaborate within our society?
I said before, charity starts at home. If I'm doing things out of Sierra Leone, what is the benefit in Sierra Leone? Sierra Leone is my birthplace. Sierra Leone gave me so much. I am who I am today because of Sierra Leone. People might say, what are you talking about? It wasn't just my biological family that brought me up. There are other people who influenced me, who supported me, who may have said a kind word to me that gave me hope. One of my English teachers, one in particular, I found out that she's passed away. She was called Madame Metsiga. She encouraged me to become who I'm called to be, to never give up.
Okay.
That's somebody I'm not related to. So Sierra Leoneans, if we come together, we can do so much more. I believe in Sierra Leoneans. Whether they're in Sierra Leone or out of Sierra Leone, they're talented. So I believe in working together. But I've tried before. I don't focus on the negative. Let's do the positive.
What are some of the challenges that you are faced with before we get to your next project?
Again, I'm going to go to the camera. Don't come for me, because you will not like my response. I think people are jealous of each other when there is no need for. You are unique. People are not honest. And sometimes I feel people just use people. Today, you're the flavor of the month because they need you. Once they think they're done with you, they leave. And the next thing you know, they'll be talking all kind of rubbish. But for me, I don't care. I don't care what people say about me. If I care about what people have said about me, I won't be here. That doesn't mean it doesn't hurt. It does. But remember, if I'm talking about healing and forgiveness, I move.
Yeah.
Because that's my foundation. My grandparents, my mom, they will tell you to your face, and that's it. We're done with it. Next. I know what not to do next time. Once beaten, my own new phrase is forever shy and be careful now with the way I do things. It doesn't mean I will not get hurt, but I try to control it, to limit it.
Interesting. Well, let's go to the chat. I have 2 comments. Many people have been commenting on the chat, and they're saying like you are preach it, sister, show sis, and all of that are coming from very close allied of yours, or maybe just people who are just watching and they're enjoying the program. I think they're enjoying the spiritual element of what you're saying. And I have 2 specific comments. One is coming from Gil, and she says, we have seen major transformation through learning from Madam Ruth's coaching and mentorship. Timeless wisdom. I think I agree with that. And also, Aisatasi says, I am enjoying this and would like to officially invite you to the Land and Dine event on Saturday, 17th May. So you've got an invitation.
Wow. Wow, okay.
And there are many other comments, but these are short ones, and these are the ones that I think I will share. I'm now going to go to YouTube and see what sort of messages are on YouTube. But before I go to YouTube, I just want you to introduce what you have on your agenda that is next. I know you're setting up a retreat to somewhere in Europe, Turkey to be precise.
Okay.
Give us a brief about that.
Let me encourage everybody. I know it's difficult times, but this is the time. Let me sit up properly. What you've had today is nothing. Come, let's reason together. Come, let's find ourselves, especially women. We work so hard, but we don't have time for ourselves. This is the time to do self-love, self-care, and in the midst of it, you're going to be having master classes, call it workshops, where you will learn. You'll be rejuvenated. I'm praying that when you finish that retreat, when you come back, you'll be a different person for the better. Of unveiled diamond. Husbands, come with your wives. Do this. You will not regret it. Partners, because these days, whether you're married, as long as you're with somebody, come. I really want you guys to come. I know you might say it's pricey, but are you not worth it? You are worth it. Anniversaries, birthdays. I know Mother's Day have just gone. For somebody who's trying to redeem themselves for not giving a Mother's Day present, this is the time. Father's Day is just around the corner. And for the people in America, you know you celebrate Mother's Day in May. This is the time to get that gift. The retreat is for 8 days. Apart from the workshop, you can relax. It's only 3 days workshop. So it's not just, we're going to talk. It's a holiday. And then the last evening, black tie dinner and dance. We're going to enjoy ourselves. networking opportunities. You never know. Single ladies, single men, you might just find your, I don't like to say your other half because we're all full people. Your life partner, your destiny helper. If you think, oh, I can't afford it, we'll put my number, call me. Because I really want you guys to come. What is in store? You've never experienced. And the retreat is from the 28th of June to the 5th of July. And we're going to beautiful Kusadasi in Turkey. It's a 5-star hotel. You can check it out. It's Liberty Kusadasi. You would never be the same again, I guarantee you, with God. Please contact me, or we'll share my website.
Yeah, we'll share the links.
And the business number, not my personal number.
No, I'll share your personal number. People might want to talk to you one too.
The business number.
I'm just joking.
Yeah, it's fine. The business number, I do take it. It's with me. So you can talk to me. But I'm really encouraging you all to come. Men, redeem yourself. That woman, bring her to that place. And for business owners in the UK, you can bring your staff and you can write it off as expense because they're going to learn something. And I'm saying this publicly because it's correct. It's not illegal to write off this retreat as a business expense because they're going to learn something on how to run a business, how to be a good staff, or even you, the leader, the CEO. You'll be surprised. So yeah, I thank you.
That's just a brief introduction of the retreat, and I know the retreat is going to be one of a lifetime. I know you've been to a couple of retreats in the past couple of years in your career path growing up, and you've been part of many retreats that you have mentored, you have given coaching sessions.
Yeah.
What are some of the major benefits, apart from the holiday scheme that people will have to go and have fun and enjoy themselves? What are some of the major benefits people will take home? It depends on what sort of capacity. Say, for example, I'm going there as an entrepreneur that possibly want to get into entrepreneurship, and I have the budget, but I don't have the basic skills. So who are going to be the various different kind of speakers that we're going to have on the day?
People who have had the experience of leading in their own businesses in that capacity. People who have had experiences. We're not saying they're perfect, but based on their mistakes, now they know the answer. You don't have to go through that mistake anymore. For couples, you're going through your marriage problems. People say, oh, if you know all this, how come you're not married anymore? Come to the retreat, you'll find out. So based on my own experience, I could tell you what not to do. People who have coached, their marriages have been saved. They're working at it, and they can see that the answer is not divorce. Families. Sometimes we have children, but we don't know how to lead them. There are people who are, including myself, who can help you in that area. We don't have all the answers, but together we win. So yeah, there's a lot that can be gained from that.
So let's discuss the price. I know you've mentioned the price might be expensive, but you have series of ways that people can be able to make payments, either by installments. Let's discuss the price a bit. What is the base rates for the retreat itself?
So the retreat is 1,700 for 8 days. That's nothing. Remember, men, women, that's for you. On a serious note, it's £1,700 from UK to Kusadasi, Turkey. But if anyone is thinking that's too steep, if after this show you call me and you say, I've got 6 people, but we can only afford to pay 1,400 now. Sorry, 1,500 now. Then that's all you have to pay, but you'll have to pay it upfront. But if you say, oh, I can't pay that 1,700, their installment plan. But you have to take that today. You have to contact us this week. We talk to me. We can work something out. Because at the end of the day, I just want people to come and discover who they are. Sometimes we think we know who we are. No, somebody can point to the torchlight and show you. And away from your norm, you can discover something about yourself that you didn't think was possible. That's what this retreat is all about. Yeah.
Okay, I think it's quite good that you mentioned that, because at the end of the day, within our Sierra Leone community, people take a lot of vacation to go to Europe. Some people go to the Maldives, some people go to Malta, some people go to Greece. Me personally, I like Africa, so I spend most of my holidays in Africa. Yeah. But I think I'm considering this one, because not that I don't want to go to Europe, but it's only because now it's somebody from my own community that is doing something that is bringing in Sierra Leoneans within the same community to a location that will not just go there and do things, but you're also going to learn and empower yourself in various different ways. I mean, Turkey is a hub for business, and I think for business-minded people, you can use it as a way of going there, spend your time in your 5-star hotel, and at the same time, you have your time to do whatever you need to do in terms of searching. I know it's very close to where it's the middle of summer, and you know, in the middle of summer, things are quite expensive when
that's
people
why
travel.
the price is that way.
Yeah. So it's Turkey, and again, don't look at the price, look at some of the benefits of what you're going to gain from it. I know it's 1,500 upfront, but 1,700 as a total. But think about the importance of going for not just a holiday, but a holiday that makes sense, that will empower you.
Yes.
You mentioned marriages, couples that have issues. I know counseling is one thing we Sierra Leoneans don't possibly take on board as much as we can. But I think if you... It's maybe because we don't have opportunity, we don't have access, or we are shy to seek those sort of resources within our communities. I mean, for us to go there and then realize the importance of some of the issues that you've mentioned. I mean, you will learn every day. Yeah. And for the fact that we're going and meet different people from different backgrounds is also an opportunity to learn and share ideas.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So are you actually going there as a group? Are you taking off the same day with everybody that is involved?
That's what I want to do.
Okay.
Because when we live together, we've set in the atmosphere already. So if we leave London on the 28th together, the first 4 or 5 days is yours to relax and unwind. And in the midst of doing that, you get to meet new people. And also for business people, you can take that time to go do your shopping.
Okay.
And or look around what you can do, what are the possibilities, because it's not just holiday. It's something, because this is the mindset I'm trying to encourage people. Don't just think holiday. When you're there might be opportunities. Yeah, you might have paid 1,700, but one contact that you've been looking for, you meet that person there that will open the doors, and things will change for you, and you think that, and you say, that's the best 1,700 I've spent.
So is entertainment in terms of refreshments, food, all inclusive? I'm
so looking forward to that.
Can you give us a brief on that?
So, not that I'm encouraging people to drink a lot alcohol, but food and drink is all day. You can eat and drink as much as you want all day, open in a 5-star hotel. And for you content creators, I'm not putting you down, God forbid. Think about the hotel. You pay 1,700 for this trip. Think about the pictures, the videos, the content you make for 8 days. I'm sure all your social media handles will be on fire.
I might have to shoot a movie there.
Yes. There's something I'm planning to do with Mr. T-Boy here, there's something. So you can be part of an exclusive.
Okay, well, let me just take a quick break and go to YouTube, as we have one of our favorites, Mr. Walker, very keen on education and very keen on this book thing. And we, like I said earlier on, we had a discussion on doing book club, and he's one of the most dedicated fans that we have on YouTube. And he's been banging on, but I think I still have to apologize for my book. I will still need to call you for my book, Mr. Walker. Let me just go through some of the messages that he just wrote on the YouTube page, and which is, living in the West, it's not. My eyes are bad. I am not sure I should be using glasses, but I think I should. I don't want to put my eyes very close to the screen because I will definitely not see anything at all. But let me just go into the laptop and I can get the YouTube page up and I'll be able to read Mr. Walker's messages. Mr. Walker, like I said to you, is very keen on education, and
education is key.
Education is key, but I think as Sierra Leoneans, we sometimes use education as a stepping stone to abuse others. Like if you don't have any kind of educational background, they'll look at you like you're a failure. Why do you think that is like a norm within our society? Especially for those who don't have degree qualifications or don't have masters like yourself or don't have PhDs, they look at you like you're nothing. Why?
They have a problem. I'll say this. My grandparents did not go through school like that, but I learned from them more than what I learned in the classroom. They were a big fan of education. My mom's dad said this thing. He said, no one can take education from you because it's yours. He told his children, and even us, the grandchildren, that the only thing I would give to you as your benefits, your what I'll leave for you is education, because nobody can take that from you. When you're educated, you can do whatever you want. And it doesn't mean that unless you're a degree holder, then you're educated. No. You should use your education to uplift, not to put people down. One of the things I believe in is legacy, positive one. So my children should be better than me, should achieve more. Anyone I mentor should succeed more than me. So that person, I might come in their life at the time when they just finished secondary school, but they say, I don't want to go to university, I want to be a plumber. Does that mean they're not educated? Does that mean I should look down on them? No. That plumber can employ a degree holder.
True.
So it's what you make out of education. You know, I don't believe in looking down on people, no matter where they are. That was a lesson I taught. I learned from my dad. Remember, when you've gone up, if anything happens to you, when you fall down, you're going to meet the people at the bottom that you look down on. Mm-hmm. If you treat them wrong, will they be there to lift you up? No. So education should be used as a weapon to empower and to uplift others, not to put them down. That's me.
All right. Yeah. Thank you very much for that. And let me now go straight to Mr. Walker's comment. The first one he wrote is, and in Sierra Leone, case environment is not right at the moment. Hopefully it will get better. Then we can encourage all of us to read. A book club will be a great idea where we can read books and novels by Sierra Leone authors, including yourself. Thank you. He asked a question, and can you ask your guests who were the writers that she used to read back in the day and unto the present? Because I can only testify for one Sierra Leonean book that I read, but not actually a Sierra Leonean book. I did a lot of literature with African authors, mainly from Nigeria.
Exactly.
One I loved most was Mariam Abaso Longaleta, was one I remembered. I did Shakespearean's book in school, but did not like the Shakespearean English, but I was more inclined to Chick and the Weaver, Geneva and the Road, of course, Mariam Abaso, Koso Town Boy. These are very few of the Sierra Leonean authors. The Dancing Plate and Spoon is just like a mimic of storybook that we did in primary schools. And of course, the Chino Achebe's, the Wolen Soinka. Those are my authors. And if you can see on my wall, I possibly have some of them, which I will possibly put on my wall, of people that I admire. So who are yours? Interesting question.
Interesting question. I was reading a lot because of school, like the books. I came across a lady, oh God, I'm trying to remember her name, about a book. We were going to work together. She passed away, I think, last year. She lived in, she's a Sierra Leonean who relocated to Ghana. Oh God, they would be upset with me.
Okay.
She's an author. She did a lot of books that we were going to do as movies, documentaries. And then I've got this, one of the heroes, I believe, in Sierra Leone, Dr. Conte, I think he's called. He's an author as well. These are the old people that have got so much in them. He's written so many books. One of them is just, I don't know if it's like an autobiography about life. It talks about Diamond. It talks about so many things. So as of now, I'm getting to read Sierra Leonean authors because the end goal is to do a documentary or a movie with them. So yeah, the other person is my late uncle, but again, I'm trying to shy away from politics. I will mention is my greatest hero. That's my mom's brother.
Okay.
And his books, but sadly enough, he passed away in 2021. And one thing I'm proud of and I'm happy about, when I decided to write this book, he was all for it. And he was really, really excited about it. And he's one person I learned leadership from as well. Yeah.
So I saw I just said Mary Jonjo. Is it a person that you're thinking about, or it's just somebody different?
No. Somebody sent a message. Jill, Nick, something. He knows the person I'm talking about, the lady. Yeah. But yeah, I'm open to books with Sierra Leonean authors.
Well, to be honest, I haven't read of late, and I have a couple of Sierra Leonean friends who are writers themselves. But when it comes to completion of books, it's very rare to see Sierra Leonean authors. Is it because is it expensive to put a book together, or it's just because we don't have the courage to sit and write books? Because we do write short stories, basically.
Let me say another part of what I do.
Okay.
I've got a publishing company. So any author that's out there that want to write a book, contact me. There's the Sierra Leonean lady whose book we're going to publish this year. I'm looking forward to that. I think she's got a brilliant story. We need not to be afraid of cost. The outlet is out there to do right. I know you come across things that say, oh, for £100, you can write a book. Trust me. No. It depends on what you want to write. You can do it. But it depends on what you want to write. But the people who influenced me in leadership, John Maxwell, I don't want to say too much. There are many books out there that it depends on what you want to learn. But I go to my faith book, the Bible.
You seem to be protecting a lot of people here today. Is there any specific reason for that?
Well, when I talk about the books I've read?
Now, you kind of saying, okay, you're holding on to this, holding on to that. You don't want to disclose some names. Are they very personal?
It's up to you. For me, my uncle is Abdul Karim Kuruma. Okay. That's my mom's brother, elder brother. He passed away in 2021. His books are out there. I saw him live this life. So yeah, you can Google him. His books are on Amazon as well.
Okay.
Is my mentor, my dad. I call him my dad. He taught me so many things. So yeah, I'm not, again, the way Sierra Leone is now, politics have, you're this, you're that. No. I don't want that to cloud what we're about. For me, I don't care about who is in leadership. I care about Sierra Leone.
Okay.
If you're leading right, I will support you. That's me. So yeah, my uncle, Abdul Karim Kuruma, they used to call him AKK. That's my uncle. That's my number one mentor. Yeah,
I know the initials is bigger than the name because everybody knows him as AKK.
Yeah.
But anyway, now that we almost coming to the end of the program, what are some of the take-home messages that you think people should take on this particular program? I know we've spoken a lot about your book writing skills, your capacity in leadership, your mentorship with young girls within our community. We haven't spoken much about younger girls in Sierra Leone in terms of coaching. What would be your kind of message to Sierra Leoneans watching, and possibly specifically to the younger girls that we haven't mentioned much about them in terms of coaching?
My beautiful diamonds, the young girls of Sierra Leone, the middle-aged, the older women, you're beautiful inside out. Don't let anyone tell you you're nothing. And the boys as well. No matter what you've gone through in life. You've heard my story, not all of it, just the tip of the iceberg. But the good thing for me, I had people who were supporting me. That's why I'm here. Reach out to me. I'm not saying I'll be there for you 24 hours. But I'm a coach. That's my passion. That's my legacy. I'm a mentor. That's my passion. That's my legacy. I believe in building up, not tearing down. My heart bleeds when I see what's happening in social media among my Sierra Leoneans, my Sierra Leone community. Women, you are queens, beautiful queens, diamonds. Start lifting each other. Start supporting each other. You're all so beautiful, inside out. To my young men, you are kings, our princes. Prince, start treating your queens properly. Start supporting us so we can support you. Leave a legacy that will speak for you for a generation to come. And that message is to every single Sierra Leonean, whether you're a man or a woman. I love you all. Until next time, over to you, our host.
All right, thank you very much, Rugi. And it's been a pleasure to have you, Ruth.
Thank you.
And I know for sure there is a lot that we have spoken about today in terms of your capacity and everything that you are able to do and have done in the past.
Thank you.
I think it's a pleasure to have you within the LAMP. Again, the LAMP is just a program for us to be able to learn and make progress. I know many people will be thinking, what's it mean? But again, we have a wider audience, and the wider audience is also Sierra Leone wider audience. And
we can do the Creole version.
Honestly, yes, we can do the Creole version. But again, it's good that we actually putting things out for the wider Sierra Leonean public. Because again, we keep on saying we should be able to relate to the grassroots. But if we don't try for make the grassroots themselves get some amount of knowledge of what we say, we kind of restrict them from being able to understand.
Can I say something to that?
Yeah, go on.
Okay. I talked about being limitless. Sometimes, again, Sierra Leoneans, you can come at me, but one day you know that I say this in love. If we start thinking about competing globally, then we would not think, oh, why make you not talk a Creole? It's because I know that you are bigger than just local. You are bigger than national. You are global icons. You are global celebrities. You are global authors. When we have an audience for Sierra Leoneans in Sierra Leone, then we can talk Creole or Mende or Timnioli or whichever language. But for now, we're trying to compete with the world. Let us empower each other and do great things. Thank you guys so much for spending your precious time with us here. I really do appreciate you all. Thank you and God bless.
Well, thank you very much. I'm just posting the links of all the social media handles for our guest for tonight, Ruth, and I've just posted it on the Facebook chat, and I'm going to do it also on the YouTube chat link. And don't forget to follow those handles, and they'll be able to get you all the information you need about herself, her books, the retreat. And don't forget also to contact her directly if you're interested in the retreat and you want to discuss pricing. The pricing is very expensive, but again, it is not expensive because it is the middle of summer, and I think everybody wants to have their way to go out and have some sunburn, have some fun. Somebody was asking whether the food is part of it. Yes, the food, the drinks is as much as you like for the entire 8 days that you're there for. I mean, if you put your lunch and dinner and breakfast together.
Breakfast, brunch, lunch, dinner.
That alone for 8 days holiday will cost you well over £1,000.
Yeah,
it depends on where you're going. And it's a 5-star rate also.
Because I believe the best for everyone.
Wow. Can't wait. So definitely, if you are interested, reach out to Ruth, and I've posted all the social media angles and her contacts on the chat group. So thank you very much once more. And I know for sure we're going to host you before the retreat itself, so that we can give the audience an update of what is happening and how much people are going to miss for not being part of this.
Yeah, I hope they don't miss.
Well, they will not miss it, because I know for sure. Yeah. I've got a couple of inquiries already. So basically it's just about moving it to the next level and passing on your details so that they'll be able to reach out to you and have a one-to-one discussion. I don't call the price, I don't call the shot. She has to call the shot. So speak to her directly, even though I'm talking about it now, but the direct contact is with Ruth, and she'll be able to quote you the right deal. So thank you very much for watching, and you're watching Sierra Leone Media Live from YouTube and Facebook, and thank you for all the comments that we've had so far. And don't forget, you've been given an official invitation for the event next month, which is a land and then, but I'll give you the details, and you can reach out to the person who is doing that, which is Aisata Sisejalo, and you can have a discussion.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
So thank you very much once more for joining us, and we hope to see you again for another edition of Sierra Leone Media Live on YouTube and Facebook. And it's going to be Saturday. Everybody knows what is happening within the weekend on Saturday. It's another community event, so join us for another edition of Sierra Leone Media. Thank you and have a good evening. Goodbye.